Have you ever wondered what's a business language? You're probably thinking about doing business with this language, or that is in a really high position in comparison with the remaining one. In both occasions, we're gonna be right. Business language is one that helps you communicate in the world of trade, finance, international companies, and global networking. In addition, it can open doors to markets, building partnerships, negotiating deals, and understanding cultures where business happens. Some languages are more widely used in global trade, technology and finance, while others give you access to fast-growing economies and emerging markets. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you the top 8 business languages you should learn in 2026, starting from number 8 and working our way up to the most important one. I will explain why each language is here and how it can boost your business opportunities and of course your cultural understanding, something that we couldn't omit. And before we get started, my name is Martin and I'm from Bulgaria, and most importantly, I'm a self-taught polyglot who is currently learning 10 languages, and in this video I'm gonna be including the business languages which I'm currently learning. If you are new, welcome to my channel. You can push the bell in order to get notified about the new videos which I make and subscribe. So, make yourself comfortable on the sofa, grab something to eat and let's get started. Number 8. Russian. Now, the current situation may not make Russian the most obvious choice, but that doesn't stop its influence from growing in global business and politics. That's the most spoken Slavic language in the world, and the only one from its group on international business level. In fact, Russian is one of the fastest growing languages on the internet, and many corporations still use it as an official language. Russia remains a country of innovation and development. But what's even more interesting is that Russian is not only spoken in the Russian Federation, it's also widely used in countries like Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan and parts of Eastern Europe as a heritage of the past period. Russian is spoken actually and by a huge diaspora from all around the world. So even with all the critics, Russian continues to hold a key place in entrepreneurship, science and the economy worldwide. If you're planning to set up business in cities like St. Petersburg in the north, Vladivostok in the east, or of course Moscow, its huge and valuable capital, knowing Russian will open many doors. And beyond business, learning this language will also enrich your perspective by connecting you to a completely new culture, style and even way of life. Number 7. Hindi. After beating China by population, India's economic boom along with its innovations in technology and science are on their way to make the country one of the world's biggest markets. Despite the fact that English remains the main language for business in India, knowing Hindi will definitely set you apart from the crowd, especially when Indian businessmen least expect it. However, not everybody speaks English in India, obviously counting mostly on Hindi, which automatically makes this language a very clever choice for your future plans. We've got the impression that India is only a tech hub, but it's also a leader in innovation, science and startups. But that thing that really makes Hindi special is that it's spoken by hundreds of millions of people from all around the world, and it's deeply tied to India's growing influence in global trade. Although it could be a bit tricky at the beginning, due to its different writing system, inverse grammar structure and words almost having nothing to do with West languages, as time passes, we'll overcome those struggles and potentially feel the language. And even if you aren't planning to work in India, knowing Hindi helps you connect on a cultural level with all those millions of Indians in all around the world, which is priceless in negotiations and partnerships. Number 6. Portuguese. Many people underestimate Portuguese, but it doesn't have to be so, because Portuguese is turning out to be one of the most important and influencing languages in the recent years. It's spoken by more than 200 millions of people in the world, including Portugal, Brazil, Angola, Macau, East Timor and more, giving it a truly international reach. However, let's direct our attention to Brazil. This country has one of the largest economies in the world, rich in natural resources, technology and a rapidly growing consumer market. It's very interesting to mention that due to Brazil's population, the most spoken language in South America isn't Spanish, but Portuguese. If you're interested in trade, energy or even tourism, Portuguese opens doors in regions that are only becoming more important. And besides, due to its similarity with Spanish, this mellifluous language is considered to be one of the easiest and most usable languages in the world. And who doesn't want to enjoy while learning a new language? In addition, Portuguese also connects you to a culture full of warmth, music and energy, which is always a beneficial point in business relationships. So, if you're wondering whether Portuguese is still apart from the big boys, therefore your doubts are unnecessary, Portuguese is supposed to be one of the leading languages in the near future, with a consistently growing influence on internet and worldwide business. Number 5. German. Germany is Europe's strongest economy and the third in the entire world, being only surpassed by the giant China and the United States. Home to some of the world's most powerful and renowned companies in engineering, fashion, automotive and technology, Germans definitely know the meaning of the word business. If you are planning to set up your business in Europe, German is one of the most useful languages, not to say the most useful language to learn. Apart from Germany, this language is official in Austria, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Belgium, and it's very popular in Netherlands too. It is also very interesting that all these countries are considered to be the richest and with high standard of life in the old continent. If you're wondering about its importance beyond Europe, so there are millions of people in the world learning the language, and you don't have to be bothered about the fact that it is spoken mainly in Europe. Beyond numbers and markets, speaking German gives you an access to a culture of precision, innovation, and trust in business. German-speaking countries are well known to be one of the most punctual in the world. If Europe is in your radar, German is rather a must than a choice for a successful and outstanding performance. Although German could be a hard language to master because of the different grammar structure and very long words, its closeness to the English actually make it easier for people who actually know English at a decent level. So, it's not a big deal, it just requires consistency and a little more effort. Hey, if you're still watching, that probably means that this video is interesting for you. If so, you can help me by liking it, sharing it to more people and subscribe if you're not yet. This way, you're gonna be one of the first to get notified about my next interesting videos. Thank you for supporting my work, and let's get back to the video. Number 4. French. This language is well known to be the world's most beautiful and romantic language. It's often related with love, flirting, and to definitely be attractive with your French speech. That's a big benefit, but in business, French is so much more than that. French is spoken on 5 continents, it is an official language in more than 25 countries. It's not only spoken in France and other parts of Europe, but also in Canada and a huge part of Africa, where many economies are growing at some of the fastest rates in the world. In fact, Africa's economic growth in the next decades will make French even more important. On top of that, French is the second most studied language in the world after English and an official language in many international organizations. And let's not forget France itself, an important world leader in fashion, technology, energy and culture. This country is often related with luxuriousness, growth, elegance and sophisticated manner, except that its capital Paris appears to be its beautiful and outstanding business icon. It's curious to mention that French was the language of aristocracy and high classes in the past, and also world's lingua franca, just as it's English at the minute. Nowadays, many worldwide leaders and entrepreneurs learn French for better opportunities and bigger success in their niches as well. In other words, if you want a language which combines business opportunities with worldwide prestige, so French definitely is going to be your best choice without any exaggeration. It's a Romance language, and apart from the difficult pronunciation, it's quite related to Spanish, Portuguese, Italian and even English, so you're gonna advance considerably fast. What more will France and its language offer in the future? We are ready to find out. Number 3. Spanish. Here we are with one of the most spoken languages in the world. With more than 500 million native speakers and over 20 countries where it's an official language, Spanish is one of the most powerful and popular languages for international business. First of all, let's focus our attention to both Americas. Starting from Mexico and going down to Argentina and Chile, Spanish dominates the entire Latin American market, a region that is rich in natural resources, agriculture, technology and rapidly growing industries. Companies that want to expand into Latin America almost always need people who speak Spanish. But it doesn't stop there. In the United States, mainly in Miami and New York, Spanish is becoming more and more essential. The Hispanic population is growing fast, and Spanish speakers already represent a huge consumer base. For businesses in retail, services and media, speaking Spanish is a massive advantage there. In Europe, Spain is also a key economy within the European Union, giving Spanish another layer of importance for trade and partnerships. Spanish appears to be also an influencing language in culture, consisting of film, sports, literature and music. So, if you're looking for a language that is not only widespread, but also practical for business across more than one continent, Spanish is an obvious choice. It's a language that combines numbers, opportunities and cultural richness all in one. Likewise, we've got to include that Spanish is learned by children and students from all around the world. So, you're definitely going to have enough conversational opportunities. Number 2. Mandarin Chinese. When we talk about business languages, we just can't omit Mandarin Chinese. With over a billion native speakers, Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, and it's not just about numbers. China has long established a reputation to be one of the world's giants. It is the world's second largest economy, which is expected to be the first in the next years, and a leader in manufacturing, trade and technology. If you're serious about international business, China is basically impossible to ignore. From electronics and fashion to renewable energy and artificial intelligence, Chinese companies are shaping the global market. Many negotiations, contracts and partnerships in Asia are handled in Mandarin, and knowing the language gives you a huge advantage in understanding both the business environment and the culture. Not to mention cities like Beijing, Shanghai and Guangzhou are one of the biggest and most important business cores in the world. But there is more. Mandarin isn't just useful in China itself. It's widely spoken across Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia and Chinese communities around the world. In addition, learning Mandarin Chinese is often seen as a respect and it helps build trust, one of the most important values when doing business with Chinese partners not only. That's a business language which is always associated with discipline, resilience and ambition, pointing out that it is considered to be one of the most challenging languages to master. We can't close our eyes about the growing popularity of Mandarin among children from a young age. Think of it as an investment. It opens doors to one of the most dynamic and fastest growing economies in the 21st century. If you're striving for an international career, Mandarin will give you opportunities that almost no other language can, because you don't learn only the language, but also you learn Chinese traditions, manners, historical roots, culture, which are shaping the current business. That's a big point for creating an important contract in China, and you won't regret it. Number 1. English. Surely, you won't be surprised, but there is a reason why English is the most important business language in the world today. English is the official language of the biggest economies in the world, like the UK, United States, India, Canada, Australia, and also some parts of Africa. In fact, English is the official or working language of the United Nations, the European Union, NATO, and nearly every major global institution you can name. I even don't think that it's necessary to mention that English is ahead the most popular language on internet, surpassing others by a significant percent. In business, English is everywhere. It dominates international trade, aviation, science, and of course, technology, making it a mandatory language for almost every niche. If you're planning to connect with investors, entrepreneurs, or innovators across the globe, English is going to be the most expected language for a conversation. But what makes English unique is not just its global influence, but also the access it gives you to knowledge, education and innovation. Most of the world's top newspapers, business resources and online content are published in English first. That means you don't learn English just for a better communication, it helps you stay ahead. The British capital London alone is often called the financial capital of Europe because 40% of the world's foreign exchange trading goes through London every day, and being the headquarters for many global banks and companies like HSBC and Barclays. If London is the European financial centre, so New York City is the worldwide one. It's home to the glamorous Wall Street and the New York Stock Exchange, which is the largest stock exchange by market capitalization, and also attracts millions of business travelers and entrepreneurs every year, making it one of the most international cities on the earth. And, beyond business, English is also the language of international travel, networking, culture, and so forth. So, if you're watching this video, congratulations! You're supposed to speak the global business language, and that's a really good thing. Learning a business language isn't just about making money, but also building trust, understanding new cultures, and seeing the world from a completely different perspective. Now, I want to hear it from you. Which of those languages do you think is the most important for business? Or maybe you're already learning one of them? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and share with anyone who's interested in languages in business. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.